to Drew Commencement 2025. I'm Tanya Lynn Bennett, Associate Dean of Vocation and Formation in the Theological School and University Chaplain. It is a good morning as we gather today to celebrate, especially to celebrate the graduating students of the class of 2025. Give yourselves a round. As we gather here this morning to celebrate the commencing of this next journey, I invite us to gather our hearts and minds in a centering moment. This is a time for asking and forgiving. On this morning that is like none we've ever known before, a morning of going forth from this place to the beyond, we ask for divine blessings. Blessings on who we've become and for who we have yet to be. We ask for guidance to lead our paths into the places that call us, that need us, places where our great passion meets the world's deep hunger. We ask for wisdom that invites us to dig deep into ourselves, to gaze at all we have to give, the goodness of us brought to a universe that craves our compassion and wonder. Creator God, you have loved us so well that you have given us the freedom to add our own color, tone, note, and step to the joyful clamor of humanity. This is a time for giving, a time for discovering and uncovering who we are made to be for just such a time as this. A time to dip into the unknown places where we will find how each of us has been made just once, unique on purpose. To tease out our own expressions of the holiness you have birthed inside each of us. God of grace, direct us as we act out our roles in the divine drama that is human life with authenticity and with truth. This is a time like no time we've ever had before or will ever have again. God of glory, we praise you for this moment and walk boldly into the next, knowing that you are always with us and that we are your beloved gift to the world. Amen. You may be seated.
Good morning. It is a dry morning for which we are all grateful. It is my true honor to welcome you to these commencement exercises for the Drew University Theological School and the Caspersen School of Graduate Studies for students graduating in Arts and Letters, History and Culture, and Medical Humanities, Health and Society programs. Today is about celebrating each and every one of you for your hard work, your successes, your challenges even in the classroom and outside of the classroom, and your successful completion of your Drew graduate degree. I feel blessed and grateful to be leading this community today more than ever. Speaking of gratitude, I want you all to take a moment to stand and recognize those behind you, those around you, for whom you are grateful. Family members, friends, support networks, as this is their day as well as yours. So if you can take a moment and just say thank you to the people around you. I also want to thank all from Drew who have worked so hard to make this ceremony a reality, who have gone above and beyond to create this meaningful celebration of your graduation. I want to recognize our faculty and our staff, those mentors and leaders who have supported and challenged you on your journeys and who, I guarantee you, will stay in your lives far beyond your time here. I want to thank all of our faculty and staff in particular, so take a moment to show your appreciation. I I also want to take a moment in these times of great turmoil in our nation and in our world to talk about institutions like Drew University, why we exist, why we must continue to exist, and why the work you and others have done here matters as you go out into the world. Higher education, education in general, is being shaken by forces beyond our control. And it is incumbent upon those of us who believe in the power of an educated, open-minded, empathetic, and creative citizenry to continue to defend institutions like Drew and the role we play and have long played in maintaining democracy. This nation needs This nation needs the qualities and the characteristics and life skills that you have developed here at Drew in and out of the classroom. Resilience, the desire and ability to engage across difference, a commitment to a common good, the ability to think critically and across systems, to solve big, intractable problems creatively. As you go forth into the world, remember to bring these tools and these values that you have honed during your time here to make the world a more accepting, kinder, and better place. Remember that everyone here at Drew who has dedicated so much to your growth and education will continue to root you on from afar. Remember that Drew is and always will be your home, and may you all carry Drew with you wherever you go. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce today's honorary degree recipient and speaker. Craig Drinkard, leader, economic justice advocate, trailblazer. You are a native of Newark, and you lead the Victoria Foundation, an organization that funded programs you attended while growing up. Your work focused on strengthening community connections, promoting education and self-determination, and fostering economic justice through the lens of racial equity has had a profound impact on your home community and, as you were just talking to me about, on you. Your dedication to service of other nonprofit and philanthropic organizations, such as Lead Charter School and Opportunity Youth Network Newark, exemplify the type of leader you are. You have had fellowships with the Neighborhood Funders Group, Aspen Institute's Philanthropy Forward, Leadership for Change, and the Justice Matters Maestra program, highlighting your ability to build community and connections and center racial and gender justice in the future of philanthropy. Craig Drinkard, it is my privilege and honor to welcome you to the podium and to present you with this Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters in recognition of your deep commitment to adding to the world's good.
You know, I prepared remarks, and as I said, try not to be emotional. Well, no, I'll be emotional if I can be. As I sat there and heard some of your remarks, it just touched on a lot of feelings for me, and I touch on them a little bit in a moment. That it just reminds me that you don't do this by yourself. None of this work that you do is is by yourself. So earlier we asked you all to stand and recognize those who have helped you get here. And that is just a wonderful reminder that we need each other. And boy, do we need each other more than ever today. So, good morning, and thank you for having me as part of this most auspicious occasion as we celebrate the achievements of our current and next round of thinkers and leaders. That's who you are. First, I want to thank Drew University, President Link, the Board of Trustees under the leadership of William Landis, all the faculty, all the staff, and of course today's graduates, and the families and supporters to help them reach this milestone, and this is truly a milestone. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge my personal cheerleading section. I have a lot of people to thank, right? I have a lot of people to thank. God asks us, if you are grateful, he tells us, if you are grateful, I will give you more. And I want to show my gratitude to highlight just a few of my personal cheerleaders that are here today. So let me start with my everything, my wife, my rock, my role model, my wife, Khadija Sharif Drinkard. She is a true believer in people, the ultimate talent curator with a great legal mind, with a big heart and a doer of what's right. To my mother-in-law, I thank you for always supporting and believing in me. My children, my oldest who could not be here today, as she's preparing to graduate next week, and plus today is her birthday, so, you know, Dad had to come in second, I understand, right? But I do have with me, I do have with me my baby girl, my Medina, my heart, who is here. If you are lucky as a parent, you get children like these two. If you are blessed like me, you get children that teach you and help you grow as a parent, but more importantly, as a person, right? I want to acknowledge, I believe I have here, I don't know if she's made it here or not, but she was planning to be here. My 8th grade teacher, Miss Iris McMurray, is here. Did I hear that? Where is she? There she is. Miss McMurray, this woman impacted my life before I was her student. I wish I had time to tell you all that story. As her student, she empowered me and inspired me, and her lessons in the classroom on demeanor and meeting students where they were still inspire me today. I am not here today without that woman being in my life, and I wish I had time to talk about that a little bit more. When I was in her class, she encouraged me to run for student council treasurer as a student council. I don't know if you remember this. And I gave my first ever speech, right? So yeah, she also nominated me for my class valedictorian, and I was selected. So if you are lucky, you get a teacher that cares about your learning. If you are blessed, you have someone who sees your potential, encourages you to think bigger, and that's what she did for me. I have to acknowledge some cheerleaders who are not here. I have lots of family and a lot of friends who could not be here, but I know they're cheering me on. I know my staff and the Board of Trustees from Victoria Foundation, I feel their presence. But I also have to acknowledge my parents, who both passed away long ago, but influenced and shaped me more than I could ever know. You know, it's interesting, I thought about it this morning, that my mom was born here in Madison in 1933. Looked a little different back then. And she passed away when I was just 15, but she inspired me nonetheless. With 5 kids and working, she went back to school to earn her diploma in her 40s, right? In her 40s. Wasn't a PhD, it wasn't a master's, it wasn't an undergrad degree. It was her high school diploma. She was regal without the regalia, right? To this day, she is one of the most voracious readers I had ever seen. She read everything. I'm going to date myself a little bit. Some of us know that back in the day, the Sunday newspaper used to be around this thick, right? But my mother read every section of the newspaper. It would take her days, but she made sure she read every section of the newspaper. She read Reader's Digest, you name it, she read it. She read books on the various subjects, and because of her veracity of reading, it impacted me and touched me to read. My dad was born in a very small town in Georgia in 1915. Yes, 1915. They came north, the family came north when he was a baby to escape the tyranny of the Deep South, to find the North just a modicum better. Though not formally educated beyond the 8th grade, this man would read 3 newspapers a day and was abreast of local, national, and international affairs like no one else. He taught me my first lesson on race here in America. He used to say, the only difference between New Jersey and Mississippi is geography. It took me a while to fully understand what that statement means. And I share that observation about race today, as today we mark the 71st anniversary of the historic Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court ruling. And sadly, though, the educational outcomes in segregation in classrooms look eerily similar to how they were back then. Not much has changed. So as I accept this honor, I recognize that, as I said earlier, I did not accomplish any of this on my own. First, I have to acknowledge God. I have to acknowledge God. My life is an example of God's mercy, His blessing, His forgiveness, His redemption, and love. I recognize that I come from a supporting and loving community where people often saw something in me and stuff I didn't even see in myself or wanted to see in myself because I would have to live up to it, right? So I'm glad I had people in my life that pushed me. So thank you, Ms. McMurray. Thank you, Imam Dean Sharif. Thank you, Ira Resnick, and countless others. Also, I want to recognize those who gave me advice, even though they may not have been on the right path themselves. When I was a kid growing up in the streets of Newark in the 70s and 80s, all of the corner hustlers, all the corner dealers and killers who told me I had to go home. I couldn't be out on the block. I was not, that wasn't for me. Go home, they said. Go back to your books. Go back to your sports. These streets are not for you. I'm here today because of them too, and I want to recognize them. When I received notification from Drew of this distinction, my first response back to the university was, are you sure you emailed the right person? The school did say yes, so I was happy about that, right? Thought I was getting punked all the way up until I got up here, right? But this award made me pause and really think about my life, right? All of my experiences, all the things I was exposed to, all of the traps that I was blessed by God to avoid. And it made me ask the question of myself, am I worthy? See, I thought people get these awards after they make deep contributions and impact in society. I think about the captains of industry, political leaders that have shaped society, individuals who made us all intellectually more curious, people who have saved endangered species or addressed famine or war. For me, I'm still that little kid from the number blocks in Newark. So this award made me think, made me ponder, and made me come up with this. Sometimes you get an award for what you have done, and sometimes you get recognized to inspire you to do more. So yes, I have done some things or been part of some things that have had an impact, and I'm very proud of that. But I'm choosing to go with the idea that this award, this distinction, is to motivate me to ask the question, what more can I do? How more can I serve humanity, my community, and my family? This award isn't about me shining a light on me. This this moment is an opportunity for me to say thank you and to acknowledge those who have helped me along the way and to put a light on what is important. So what is important? Well, one thing that is important, and I love this, I was looking this up and I see that Drew University's motto is, freely ye have received, give freely give, excuse me. Freely you have received, freely give. So what's important now is to support Drew University. Donations do matter, no matter how small, right? Should I say that again, President? Yeah, I got a thumbs up. Donations do matter. Support Drew, right? Donations matter no matter how small. Volunteer to be on boards or committees. Support Drew University so Drew University can support others. We need more universities like Drew that provide great education and accessibility to many. It's a school that welcomes broad ideas and it has courageous leadership, right? What else matters? What else matters? Democracy matters. One person recently said, or I don't know how recent, but one person said, democracy has to be defended by each generation. This is our time to defend democracy, but to defend democracy for all. We measure democracy by how we treat those on the margins. We have to admit we have a lot of individuals and families on the margins, and more families are from communities that for the first time are challenged by housing costs, the lack of accessibility to jobs and opportunities for advancement, lack of access to health care, and so forth. I know it's scary, and I know it's daunting, and I know you worry about losing. I know you worry about losing what you have. I know you worry about losing your place in line. I know you worry about losing your privilege. They threaten you with loss. They invoke you with fear. But I'm here to tell you I have some good news, right? I know it's scary, but I have some good news. That freedom is on the other side of fear, right? Fight despite fear. You have to demand your freedom. You have to demand your voice and your power. You have more power than you realize. It is time, Khadija Sharif Drinker, it is time for power redefined and reimagined, right? It is time to reimagine what can be. Let's reimagine what can be for all of us and not limit what we can co-create. Remember, none of us are free until we're all free, right? You know, I know right now in a lot of instability, we want to go back, right? We want to go back to where it didn't seem like this. Well, I'm not trying to go back. I'm not trying to go back to the good old days, right? Going back to what? Do you know that New Jersey has one of the highest or the largest racial wealth gaps in the country? Do you know that it has for white families, they have a median income of $660,000 compared to just $20,000 of median income for black and brown residents. Why do I want to live in a world that exists, right? Another world is possible. Another world is possible. One author said, another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. People, we have done this before. We have stood up when it was normal to be afraid. I want to remind us that in 1965, John Lewis, the late great congressman, and this is before he was a congressman, he was about 25 years old, the age of some of you graduates, some of the in the audience. He and a band of others, some older, some younger, knew before they set out to cross the Pettus Bridge on that famed Selma to Montgomery March for voting rights, what is now known as Bloody Sunday, they knew that democracy mattered, but only mattered if everyone could fully participate without barriers. They had no politicians with them. They had no famous people with them. They definitely didn't have any social media with them. They defied state-issued executive orders for what was right, and they changed America. They knew freedom was on the other side of fear. So as I begin to close out, I want to leave you with this, something from the Abrahamic faith traditions. And Dr. Aponte, I better be careful because I'm sitting around some big thinkers around here, right? So I gotta be careful. I'm just an amateur talking about some of these things, right? So, you know, I will paraphrase, if it's okay, for the sake of time, but I hope to lift up a message. And I want to talk about the story of Moses. Moses, again, according to some faith traditions and some interpretations, Moses had a speech impediment. Some say he was tongue-tied. He was at first afraid and scared to go face Pharaoh, right? But he went, and he rallied the people being oppressed and others to see a better way of life for themselves. Moses himself defied the executive orders of Pharaoh. And as we know, things went a little crazy. So as the story goes, Moses was leading the people to a better place, but they were stuck at the Red Sea, right? They were stuck. They couldn't go forward because they couldn't see beyond what was in front of them. The people were scared. Some wanted to go back and ask forgiveness of Pharaoh and plead and pledge their alliance and their allegiance to them. I know we see some of that today, right? The pressure was on. Pharaoh was coming. The people could see his army and they were gaining ground on them. Moses turned to God and asked for help. Moses asked for guidance. He asked for protection. He asked God, "What am I to do, God?" God didn't send down any interventions. He didn't send down any thunderbolts or any other forces to stop Pharaoh. What was God's response to Moses? His response was simply, use what I've already given you. Use what you already have in your hand. As the story goes, Moses uses his staff. He strikes the ground. The waters part. The people make their way out to the other side of tyranny, and Pharaoh is drowned. Did I get that? Did I get it right? I'm pretty good? Okay, all right. Got to check, right? So what is the message? Use what you have in your hand to change the destiny, not just for you, but for others. Use this degree that you will be receiving today, right? Use this degree in your hands to make the world better for those and not just for yourself. Use what you have in your hand to open the access to those without access. Use what you have in your hands and your positional power and privilege to speak out and speak up for those who often are muted in our society. This table of liberation and prosperity is big enough for all of us to sit at. And finally, in my faith tradition, we have this saying, whoever amongst you sees an evil must change it with his hands. If he's unable to do so, then change it with his tongue. If he's unable to do so, then change it with his heart. And know that is the weakest form of faith. Drew University, I will do my best to live up to the responsibility that you have placed on me. I will do my best to do more. Thank you, and once again, congratulations to all the graduates.
Thank you, Craig. I am very pleased to now welcome our student speaker for today's commencement, Jacqueline Chipongo. Jacqueline is a Master of Divinity graduate in our Drew Theological School. A native of Zimbabwe, she embodies the Theological School's history of true global appeal and reach. In addition to her studies, Jacqueline is the Vice President of Drew's Women's Ministerial Alliance and is a library assistant in Drew's Methodist Library. Jacqueline also serves as an associate pastor at Park United Methodist Church in Bloomfield. Welcome, Jacqueline, and congratulations.
Good morning, President Ling, esteemed faculty, staff, family, friends, and fellow graduates. My name is Jacqueline Chipongo. It is with great honor that I stand before you today as we celebrate this significant milestone. Today is a day of accomplishment and reflection. A moment to look back on the journey that brought us here and dream boldly about the future that awaits us. As we gather to celebrate, I want to recognize not only those of us who have journeyed through the Master of Divinity and theological programs, but also our peers from the Caspersen School of Graduate Studies. Whether you pursued advanced degrees or any distinctive programs offered at Caspersen, your dedication to academic excellence and real-world impact enriches our entire Drew community. Together, we represent a diverse and vibrant intellectual community committed to critical reflection, ethical leadership, and service. Like the theological students who have wrestled with scripture and ministry, Caspersen students have engaged deeply with their fields. Guided by world-class faculty mentors and experiential learning that prepares them for the complexities of today's world. Our achievements today reflect not only individual efforts, but also the collective strength of the Drew graduate community, united by a shared mission to make a difference in the world through knowledge, compassion, and leadership. As an international student from Zimbabwe, studying at Drew Theological School is nothing short of transformative. When I first arrived on this campus, I came with a heart full of hope and a mind eager to learn. Yet, I also carried the weight of uncertainty. I was unsure how to navigate a new culture, academic system, and way of life. How many of us arrived here unsure of what we would find, only to discover a second home? What I found here was more than just an education. I found a community that embraced me, challenged me, and helped me grow in ways I never imagined. I was often the quiet one in class, listening more than speaking, absorbing the wisdom around me. But let me be clear. My quietness was never because I had nothing to say or lacked ideas. I was still finding my voice and my place in this new environment. Over time, I learned that sometimes quietness is its form of strength, a space where deep reflection and growth can take root. The Master of Divinity program is demanding. It demands not only intellectual rigor, but also spiritual depth and emotional resilience. Through countless hours of reading theology, wrestling with scripture, engaging in difficult conversations about justice and equity, and practicing ministry in real-world contexts, we have been stretched and shaped into leaders ready to serve a world in desperate need of healing. One of the most transformative experiences for me was the opportunity to serve in a local church. Standing before a congregation, sharing in their joys and struggles, I discovered the true heart of ministry. I learned that ministry is not confined to the walls of a church, but extends to every corner where love, justice, and compassion are needed. In the same spirit of community I found in ministry, I was also privileged to work in the Drew Methodist Library. Surrounded by the wisdom of generations past, the library became more than a workplace. It was a sanctuary where my understanding of faith, history, and service deepened. It reminded me that our stories are part of a much larger narrative of faith and tradition. There is a Shona proverb from home that says, "Rumerimwe harikombe churu," which means one person alone cannot surround an anthill. This proverb reminds us that our achievements are never ours alone. They are the result of collective effort, support, and shared vision. This is echoed in the African philosophy of Ubuntu. I am because we are. Ubuntu teaches us that our humanity is bound up in one another, and that we thrive when we lift each other. To my professors, thank you for your wisdom and guidance. You didn't just teach us theology. You taught us how to think critically, to lead with integrity, and to serve with humility. To my fellow graduates, thank you for walking this journey with me. Your stories, your courage, and your unwavering commitment to your callings have inspired me every step of the way. To my family, this achievement is as much yours as it is mine. Your prayers and sacrifices have carried me through even the toughest days. And to my friends here who have become like family, thank you for reminding me that no matter where we come from or what languages we speak, we are all connected by our shared humanity. As we live through today, let us remember that our degrees are not just pieces of paper. They are tools for transformation. The world we are stepping into is complex and often divided. But as people of faith, and as leaders shaped by this incredible institution, we are called to be bridge builders, peacemakers, and advocates for justice. Let us go forth boldly, not because we have all the answers, but because we serve a God who calls us into the unknown with courage and grace. Let us carry forward the lessons we have learned here at Drew, to listen deeply, to love fiercely, and to lead humbly. As we leave this place, may we carry with us the words of Micah 6, verse 8. He has shown you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. To the class of 2025, congratulations. May we go out into the world as agents of hope and healing, always remembering that our work is not just about what we do, it's about who we are called to be. Maita Basa, thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you for the wonderful musical selection. It is now my distinct pleasure to announce the Theological School's Teacher of the Year. Among the many comments received, one student said, "I admire this professor for his creativity, inclusivity, and passion for his work as a professor and a pastor. His ability to infuse fun into learning and to inspire students to appreciate and create meaningful worship experiences has made a lasting impression on me." Another student noted that this professor, quote, "models for students the intersections of academic, spiritual, and communal modes of learning. In addition to our written assignments, students are exposed and encouraged to explore new concepts in ways which can be creatively and spiritually expressed. Moreover, the time and space he creates each semester as a classroom community helps students reflect and process key learnings from the semester." Finally, a third student gushed, quote, "His teaching techniques are brilliant. I always look forward to his classes," unquote. Teaching in the areas of the history of Christianity, pastoral formation, and worship and liturgy, it is my great pleasure to announce this year's recipient of the Theological School Scholar Teacher of the Year, the Reverend Dr. J. Terry Todd, Associate Professor of American Religious Studies. Unfortunately, for reasons beyond his control, Reverend Dr. Todd is unable to be with us to celebrate his award today, but we will be passing that along shortly.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Lakin. I am the University Provost and the Vice President for Academic Affairs, and it is my extraordinary pleasure to begin the conferral of degrees and the awarding of diplomas. Graduates, please remain seated until you are invited to rise and come to the platform, and once you have received your diploma, you will return to your seats. Clearly, we're going to have to work on this part, but we are expecting excited celebration for each of our graduates and ask that you please do so respectfully. I now call upon the Dean of the Theological School, Reverend Dr. Edwin David Aponte, to present the candidates for the Theological School.
Good morning. I am honored to present the candidates of the Drew University class of 2025 from the Theological School. The faculty and I recommend them to you wholeheartedly. On behalf of the Theological School, will the candidates for the degrees Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Ministry, Master of Sacred Theology, Master of Divinity, Master of Arts in Religion, and Master of Arts in Theology and Ministry, please rise. President Link, I ask that you grant these candidates their degrees with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto attached and to which they are rightfully entitled.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority of the Board of Trustees of Drew University, I confer upon you the degrees Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Ministry, Master of Arts in Religion, Master of Arts in Theology and Ministry, Master of Sacred Theology, and Master of Divinity for the class of 2025.
You may sit until we ask you to come on up, all right? I now invite Reverend Dr. Meredith Hoxley Scholl, the Director of Doctoral Studies, and then faculty, dissertation directors, and the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy to join us on the platform.
Julian Armand Cook. With committee members Tracy West, Kate Ott, Mark Miller, and Wallace Best for his dissertation, We Shall Be Changed, Black Gospel Sonic Ethics, Chicago's Black Spiritual Churches and Black Futures, 1929 to 1950. Cordelza Donathea Elise Haynes, whose committee members are Tracy West, Althea Spencer Miller, and Phyllis Shepard, for her dissertation, African American Cultural Memory, Birthing Our Collective Self-Consciousness. To you, Lynn, with committee members Stephen Moore, Althea Spencer Miller, and Dong Sung Kim, for his dissertation entitled Decolonizing Matthew's Heavenly Empire, a Taiwanese Interpretation.
I now invite the candidates for the degree Doctor of Ministry in Courageous Leadership, Pilgrimage and Spirituality, Women's Religious Leadership, Faith, Health and Social Equity, and Bible, Theology, Leadership in Korean Context to all join us on the platform.
Catherine Louise Steele, for a dissertation, Empowering Neurodiverse Clergy Women, Enhancing Church Support for the Unique Ministerial Talents. Cassandra Maria Spivey Johnson, Sisters at the Well, Ordained but Not Quite Equal. The Reverend Dr. Kevin R. Hunter Sr., Providence Manor is a place to age in place, or is it? Eric Kawabla Aposti, From Laity to Clergy, Leadership Transition Challenges in the North American Diocese of the Methodist Church, Ghana. Raheen Robert Beach, Faith Meets Flow, Empowering Future Leaders Through the Elements of Hip Hop in the Church. Tanya R. Bryan, Strategies for Liberatory Leadership, Empowering Female Clergy. Peggy Thompson, Black Women's Social Justice Leadership, Shaping Sacred and Secular Communities, Complexities of Resistance, and the Powers of Persistence. Jorge Alberto Lopez Galon, a multiracial and multicultural ministry with the Hispanic Latino communities. Arthur Long, Jr., the church and community as an intersectional resource for mental health and trauma. Corey Maurice Johnson, A Place for Connection, a relational model for post-pandemic church growth and revitalization. Jacqueline Renee Pinckney, Holy Communion, a seat at the table, creating sacred Black liturgy towards a healing community. Unbak Kim, a study of Genesis, a discovery of the heart of God through Genesis. Chang Yung Choi, comprehensive study of ancient empires, reading ancient empires through the lens of the book of Daniel. Hyung-Koo Choi, a study of the commonality of worship. Tae Young Choi, the impact of praise on the faith journeys of the congregation at Holy Families Church. Un Sung Soo, a study of the direction of online ministry in the post-COVID era, focusing on the case of Hansoming Church in Korea. Jun-Soo Park, Vision Missionary as Life-Changing Agent, a case study of a mission project of Seongnyeong Church. Sunil Kim, a study of the impact of missional churches' pastoral strategies on church maturity. Bok Yung Kwang, a study of the church that attracts the young generation first, focusing on the case of Jeonju University. Na Yun Cho, a holistic summer camp applying the epic theory, a case of Metropolitan Kroyo United Methodist Church. Ik Chang Jin, intergenerational faith connection and growth, epic theory-based small group model proposal.
I now invite the Masters of Art and Religion, the Master of Theology and Ministry, and the Master of Sacred Theology candidates to join us on the platform.
Catherine Lee Miller. Landon Davis Wilson. Bibi Falone Kinkumba. Reverend Joseph R. Simon. Elliot Windenov.
I now invite all Masters of Divinity candidates to join us on the platform.
Jacqueline Chipongo. Jessica Otsha Kayambi. Faith Gatwiri Gitonga. Chantel Makarawa. Fortunate Dandye. Isaac Minka. Henry Norklim Anyomi. Madison Rose Tatum. Samuel Edward Smith. Migdalia Joy Moore. Dae Gyeong Ko. Yong Kang Kim. Pong Hwa Lim. Sean Gao. Jingwei Sun. Kyle L. Bush. Jean M. Park. Maeve Hannah Perrin. Anthony Kwame Mensah. Jungyu Park. Gyun Hee Han. Kenesha Cadian Blake Newell. Faith Waters. Ashley Nicole Clifton. Conway Gary Giddens. Mary Beth Doctor. Terry Geiger Leon. Jennifer Lundberg. Karen Mancinelli Page. Martha Miranda Garland Frame. Rodney F. Felder. Manuel Islas. Josiah Mano John. Anani Kanda Kasongo. Takundinashe Rejoice Chinunwenga. Monica Kununkwashe Mafarichisi. Samantha Tanaka Gamutkaraichi Nayachoto. Emily Anotida Muparatuta. Doreen Titi Mahalanda. Daddy Raul.
Good morning. I am Ryan Henricks, and it is my pleasure to serve as Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and the Caspersen School of Graduate Studies. I am now pleased to begin the conferral of degrees and the awarding of diplomas to the graduates of the Caspersen School of Graduate Studies programs in Arts and Letters, History and Culture, and Medical and Health Humanities. On behalf of the Caspersen School of Graduate Studies, will the candidates for the degrees Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Letters, Doctor of Medical Humanities, Master of Arts, and Masters of Letters please rise in body or spirit? President Link, I ask that you grant them these degrees with the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto attached and to which they are rightfully entitled.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority of the Board of Trustees of Drew University, I confer upon you the degrees Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Letters, Doctor of Medical Humanities, Master of Arts, and Master of Letters for the class of 2025.
You may be seated until called by the marshals. I now invite Dr. Jonathan Rose, Director of the History and Culture Program, along with the dissertation advisors in the History and Culture Program, to join us on the platform. Would Ann Garner, winner of the Mary Pennywitt Lester Prize, please lead the History and Culture candidates for the degrees Doctor of Philosophy, followed by the degrees Master of Arts, to all join us on the platform.
Ann M. Garner. I got mine, Black Vernacular Music and Intoxication, at the American Medicine Show. Hamza Radi, Architects of Their Own Destiny, Print Media, The Construction of Belonging, and the Moroccan Immigrant Identity in France, 1970 to 1985. Mary McConnell de Brigida, Anne Hollingsworth Wharton, American Sociability and the Power of History. Patrick Kurtler. Lucia Notley Mowry.
I now invite Dr. Leslie Sprout, Director of the Arts and Letters Program, as well as Arts and Letters dissertation advisors, to join us on the platform. Would Tiana Hitchin, winner of the Dean Payne Prize, please lead the candidates from Arts and Letters for the degree Doctor of Letters, followed by the candidates for the degree Master of Letters, to join us on the platform.
Rough Draft, Preservation of the American Landscape, Reflections on Seasons, in the works of Charles Birchfield, Andrew Wyeth, and Robert Frost. Neil Rammer, Personal Storytelling, A Study of the Purpose and Art of the Educational Memoir, and You Ready, Fellow, a Memoir. Mary Lee Crawley, Hammock, An Exploration of Faith. Adrienne Denise Moses Ridley. The historical criminalization of black masculinity towards a social disability, the New York City newspapers and the Central Park Five. Leslie Potashner, the refugee in American newspapers. Robert Scott Herman, finding a home in between, reconsidering Ciaran Carson's early works. Kay DeChow Wright, Bunyan, a play. Julie Ann Salthouse, a walk through the quiet streets at midnight, gender, race, and the new woman in the short stories of Kate Chopin. Pamela V. Holmes, Danforth Memorial Library, Paterson, New Jersey, symbolizing freedom, trauma, and a place of care. Joan Foster McCarty Sanchez, daughter of a different son, Finding Panther, Finding Home. Jonathan Michael Kelly, The Glitch is the Machine, Technological Mediation and Identity in the Collected Works of Rowan Black. Dina Marie Argalis, Trans Matters, Medieval and Modern Bodies in Conversation. Melissa Libby, A Lesson in Short Stories, a collection of essays. Michelle Marie Flanagan, The Edge of Equinox. Janelle Jones Sanderwick. Megan Goodson.
I now invite Dr. Mero Vise, Director of the Medical and Health Humanities Program and Dissertation Advisors for Medical and Health Humanities, to the platform. Would Crystal King Wallner, winner of the Dean's Medical Humanities Dissertation Prize, please lead the Medical and Health Humanities candidates for the degrees Doctor of Medical Humanities, followed by the candidates for the degrees Master of Arts, to join us on the platform.
Crystal Lee King Wallner, the role of visual arts in hurricane recovery, relating, reclaiming, and resilience. Cameron Camille Rayner, hospice care in the modern day of African American community, beliefs, and inequality. Jamila Karima Hewley, a journey to purpose, professionalism, and the authentic self through trauma and resilience. Rose John Baptiste, let your voice be heard. Black birthing bodies as embodied characters, the body endures. The body keeps score, the body speaks, and the body heals. A qualitative inquiry photo narrative of the root of black birthing bodies. James Ronald Chambers, secondary traumatization in the helping profession, a crisis and a pandemic through a phenomenological lens. Bartholomew Gozie Omobi, African Americans' attitudes towards the end-of-life care, specifically engagement in advanced care planning, intervention in the African American communities of Union County, New Jersey, USA. Donna E. DeAngelis Baird, the nature of caring by nurse leaders in the early COVID-19 pandemic. Kevin Joseph Poirier, what can we learn from pain narratives? An investigation of the ethical gaps in the treatment of patients who suffer from chronic non-cancer pain through the perspective of patient narratives. Rosemarie Taylor Gelber, improving the satisfaction and well-being of incoming primary care physicians, sharing the practical wisdom of retired physicians via visual challenge cards. Frank L. Barham, assisted suicide is ethical, Christ example. Cretan Stavis Kalfagor. Okay. Oh, that's it? Oh. Somebody.
Congratulations. Congratulations to all of our graduates in the Drew Theological School and the Caspersen School of Graduate Studies, and the families and friends who have joined us here today. Graduates, you are prepared to give with not just the knowledge you have learned here at Drew, but with a commitment to your community and a desire to engage in long life learning. As you go forward, I ask that you strive to fulfill our university's mission to add to the world's good by responding to the urgent challenges of our time with rigorous, independent, and imaginative thought. I want to thank everyone for joining us today at this commencement ceremony and ask that guests please remain at your seats until all graduates have recessed. Graduates will be directed off of Meade Lawn by the marshals and will be able to meet their guests and faculty near the Shakespeare Theater patio. I now invite you to stand as you are able for the musical selection, Draw the Circle Wide, arranged by Mark Miller, followed by the benediction.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, stand by side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side.
We'll never, never walk alone, yeah.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side.
We'll never, never, never walk alone, no.
Draw the circle wide.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle, draw the circle wide. I'll never stand alone. We'll walk side by side. Draw the circle, draw it wide.
Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side.
We will never, never walk alone.
Draw the circle.
Hey!
Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No
It's time to go. It's time to leave this place that has molded and shaped us, framed us in an image only a divine eye can see. It's time to follow the open road, to follow where it takes us into a world where anything is possible. It's time to arrive on shores we have never seen before and to make our place there, confident that we are beloved just as we are and that this fierce love will sustain us regardless. It's time to go. May the grace of all that is holy surround us, carry us through, and bring us back here when we need to touch the trees again. Go in faith, go in love, go in peace. Amen.